Hello and welcome to Fertility Now. My name's Lorne Brown. I'm the Clinical Director of AccuBalance Wellness Center. We're located in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Our website is accubalance.ca. And our topic is my favorite supplements to boost your fertility. And I like to make these videos as short as possible, but most importantly, as simple, powerful, and effective. So I've narrowed it down to my 5 favorite supplements that I like to use to boost your fertility. Now, obviously, if you come in with complicating conditions, you've been diagnosed with PCOS or endometriosis or some blood sugar disorders, so there's a lot of other things going on besides just some fertility decline, then that may get modified, what I'm about to share with you. But in general, this is what I'm recommending at this time to the majority of my fertility patients. Now, before I go into these 5 supplements, I'm going to use an analogy of why we use supplementation to boost your fertility. And if you haven't watched this series on Fertility Now, I do go into much more detail on this idea of nourish the soil before you plant the seed. There's a 2-part series on the Fertility Now channel on our YouTube channel, so please do check that out. In general, I think of this as you're my garden and I'm your gardener. And so if your soil has weeds or contaminated soil, or like big rocks in the soil, then we need to remove them. We need to pull out those weeds. We need to dig out the contaminated soil and remove those rocks. So often I'll start off with a gentle detox. And the key word here is gentle. Our approach at AccuBalance is nourish life and to create a supportive environment to assist your body's innate ability to heal. So in most cases, it's a gentle detox. It's not a fast or a strong cleanse. A gentle detox to support the liver and kidneys' ability to do that detoxification. And there's many out there on the market. We often use the one by Thorne called MediClear. It's a 3-week elimination diet with supplements to help support the body in detoxification. Again, these aren't fast or cleanses. They're gentle cleanses. So in nourishing the soil before you plant the seed, if there's contamination, if there's weeds, we definitely want to remove that as much as we can through diet and lifestyle and supplementation to create that garden, to start building that compost soil up. And then if you're planting something in the garden and the soil is depleted of those nutrients, then it's hard for the plant to bring up those nutrients to bring that into its fruits and flowers. So we talk about supplements. It's like our fertilizer. Think of it as fertilizer that we're adding to the soil. And they're supplements, as in they're not drugs, they're supplements. Your diet is the key here. So to get your nutrition through diet is the key. And then we call this supplementation, as in we're adding to the diet to just give extra support for that body's innate ability to heal. In this case, we're adding a little bit of fertilizer to that soil. I'm not going to go into diet today. However, on the accubalance.ca website, we have a free download for you of the AccuBalance Fertility Diet. And at the end of 2020, we did a major update where we improved the recipes and we updated some of the information on that AccuBalance Fertility Diet. And again, that's available for free for you to download from the accubalance.ca website. So here are my 5 favorite supplements that I use to boost fertility. Coenzyme Q10, inositol-cysteine, a prenatal vitamin with folate, not folic acid. Folate's the natural occurring version, not the synthetic. Folic acid synthetic. Omega-3 fatty acid and vitamin D with some K2 in that. Now let me just discuss these each briefly. If you're interested more about the dosaging, then contact your healthcare provider, or if you're a patient of AccuBalance, contact us. If you're not, become a patient and we'll go into the dosaging. If you're wondering what brands, because not all brands are created equally. So oftentimes they get the same raw materials, but the binders and the fillers they use can make that supplement actually not even good for you, let alone helpful. And sometimes the way they process it too can damage some of the ingredients. So at AccuBalance, we've gone through the different brands and looked at the ones that we like based on their manufacturing standards, based on the quality of the ingredients they use. And we carry those at AccuBalance and we have them on our full script as well. Do talk to your healthcare provider because they may have some brands that they like, that they've done their due diligence to make sure that you're hopefully getting the best quality and that the ingredients are in there that they say that are in there. So coenzyme Q10, it's a strong, powerful antioxidant. It's been known to help increase cellular energy. So it improves the mitochondrial function. Think of the mitochondria in the cell as the battery of the cell. And as we age, one of the things in the fertility world is that women of advanced maternal age, these mitochondria are wearing out. And this is causing some of the issues in the egg quality and why some of these embryos are not able to continue to divide, because they need that energy, and you need that energy for implantation. So coenzyme Q10, very important supplement, both for male and female. CoQ10, again, that mitochondria, recharging the battery of the cell. So think of motility for men. Very good antioxidant. And there's been some research on using coenzyme Q10 both in humans and in mice. So do, again, talk to your healthcare provider with which brand they like, what's the dosaging. It is recommended to take CoQ10 if you can divide it up in between meals, with your meals in divided dosages. So take it in a divided dose. So let's say, I'm going to make this up. Let's say you're taking 600 milligrams of coenzyme Q10. Your body will absorb more of it if you take it as in 3 divided dosages, so 200, 200, 200 throughout the day, versus just the 600 at once. And it seems to need some fat with it for absorption, so it's better to take it with a meal than on an empty stomach. There's ubiquinone and ubiquinol out there. Most of the research to date is on the ubiquinone, the CoQ10. Ubiquinol has lots of promise, but right now, most of the research is on the ubiquinone form. N-acetylcysteine, it is the precursor to glutathione, which is a mother antioxidant. This is probably one of my favorite supplements to use. And if you have seen that movie called My Big Fat Greek Wedding, remember the grandpa that used to spray Windex on everything? N-acetylcysteine is kind of like my Windex. And laughter is good for your fertility. So if you haven't seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding, go see if you can find that online and watch that. NAC is very popular with treating women with PCOS. It's been used in studies in combination with metformin and or Clomid, or on its own. It's a really good for help detoxification and regulating inflammation. There are studies with it on endometriosis. Let's see if I can bring up one of these studies I was reading on it. We have some information on N-acetylcysteine, NAC, on our AccuBalance website. Put in the search bar and you'll see some of the research. There was a study, this one was in 2013, a study done on Italian women with endometriomas. They took 1,800 milligrams of NAC. So they took 600 3 times a day. And of these 92 women, 24 of these patients were able to cancel their laparoscopic procedures due to a decrease in their pain levels. They saw shrinkage of the endometriomas, or they were canceled due to pregnancy. 55% of these patients reported a decrease in dysmenorrhea, so the pain, a decrease in pain on sex, and 59% a decrease in just chronic pelvic pain. So NAC, there's more and more data seeing it used in IVF settings for miscarriages, as I mentioned, PCOS and endometriosis. I take it myself personally, and I'm not looking to optimize my fertility just because of its antioxidant properties and its role in regulating inflammation. Inflammation, chronic systemic inflammation, is what leads to accelerated biological aging. Some people call it inflammaging. So accelerated biological aging that leads to premature degenerative diseases, and I say fertility decline. So I like NAC for everybody in most circumstances. Again, talk to your healthcare provider before taking any of these supplements. Prenatal. Now, obviously you want a prenatal. We like folate or methylated folate versus the synthetic version, which is folic acid. So do get a high quality prenatal vitamin. A lot of them have the folic acid because it's less expensive. However, if you start to Google and look at Dr. Google and look at the research out there, sometimes people that take high doses of folic acid, there's negative repercussions. All this is on the synthetic form. There is no research that I've come across where high doses of the natural form, folate, or methylated folate is causing any problem. So I would stick with the natural form versus the synthetic form. So look for a prenatal that has folate or methylated folate, and stay away from the ones that are, for me anyhow, we don't recommend or carry the versions with synthetic folic acid. So again, you can contact your healthcare provider or your AccuBalance practitioner, and we have a list under our under Fullscript on the AccuBalance site with the prenatals that we like and recommend. Omega-3 fatty acids, they're essential. We need these. They help regulate hormones. They're just important for our overall health. Again, regulating the inflammation. I just mentioned the importance of inflammation for cervical mucus, etc. So it's essential. So if you're lacking this, there's all kinds of health issues that can come about because you're deficient in the omega-3 fatty acids, or you have the wrong ratio. You have too much of the omega-6s or 9 compared to the omega-3. So again, dietary therapy and taking omega-3 is part of my favorite 5s. This one is really important to look for a high quality brand, because a lot of the cheaper oils out there, the reason they're cheaper is when they clean the oil, they put back synthetic vitamins versus natural vitamins. And sometimes the way they clean the oil, that process alone makes the oil almost rancid or toxic or not. It doesn't have that health benefit. So please don't cheap out on your omega-3 fatty acid oil because you're really getting what you pay for. Again, at AccuBalance, we've looked at the different brands and manufacturers out there, and there's a handful of oils that we like because of the way they clean the oil. We know they're putting back the natural vitamins, not the synthetic, and their processing is not, when they're cleaning the oil, is not damaging the essential fatty acids either, the oil in general. And then vitamin D3, and we like it usually with K2. We pretty much like to test you to see where your vitamin D levels are at. Vitamin D deficiency has been shown to lead to inflammation. It's been shown to lead to menstrual irregularities. It's been shown to lead to infertility, miscarriages, and poor IVF outcomes. And for dosaging the vitamin D, we like to test. It's a fairly invasive and inexpensive blood test. And so we do this at AccuBalance. We'll see where your levels are at. And then we want to get you into the upper half of that range. So there's a range. Below this range, you're deficient. Above this range, they say you have too much. But we want you more than halfway past that deficient line. We don't want you just barely above it. We want you vitality here. And so we do test for your vitamin D, and then based on that, we'll dosage it. And if it's very low, which we see in many people in Vancouver, we can do vitamin D injections to get you up there as well, to get your levels up higher. That's a real important one, again, for regulating your cycle. And again, miscarriage, infertility, and IVF success. There's data showing deficiency in vitamin D can lead to infertility problems. And, I'm recording this in the time of COVID. Vitamin D deficiency has been shown to increase hospitalization to COVID and death related to COVID. So a real good reason to be taking vitamin D and getting tested first. And inositol NAC also has very small data on it used in relation to COVID or COVID prevention. I don't know if it's preventing it, but in treatment, because NAC is also used for bronchitis, that mucus. So it's really good at inflammation and that phlegmy stuff. So another great reason why I'm still taking inositol during these days as well. So those are my 5 favorite vitamins: coenzyme Q10, inositol, a prenatal vitamin with natural folate or methylated folate, omega-3 fatty acid, and vitamin D3, often combined with K2. Contact us at AccuBalance to see which brands we recommend and dosaging, or talk to your healthcare provider. Again, remember, diet is key here. So do eat a healthy, low glycemic index diet, so low in blood sugar raising diet, anti-inflammatory diet. And if you want to know what that looks like, and you want to look for some yummy, tasty recipes, on the AccuBalance.ca website, you can download a free copy of the AccuBalance Fertility Diet. Wishing you the best of luck on your fertility journey.